we are live and audible. Hello everyone, welcome back for the Rockman World Plus run by AsneL. And I also have the commentator that will be talking for AsneL here, LVCreed. If you want to introduce yourself, please go ahead.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, everyone. This is your boy LVCreed here, back just for a little bit of an extra bonus time with you here at the Fangame Marathon, as we're gonna go through another Mega Man fan game. As you mentioned, Rockman World Plus, which is a fan game made around just about a year ago, which tries to emulate the Game Boy style of Mega Man games, but we'll talk about that a little more as we get the run started. I see AsneL is on the screen. Game start on the stage select, and he has selected our first robot master, which is Quickman. So we can go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So yes, once again, Rockman World Plus is made on the Megamix engine. For those that are familiar with that engine, it's mostly used for the Make a Good Mega Man level contest. It's the main engine used for those general contests, those fan games as well. Very well known. I suggest everyone plays them. Those are some fantastic work, not only by the creators themselves, the judges, and the players that take part in the contest, but they've also been used to make various fan games such as this one. So, AsneL kind of having a little bit of stage stumbles early on, but we do start with Quickman. So, Quickman here, as you expect, it's your typical Quickman, so you're going to have lasers, but thanks to the Megamix engine, you can actually set the lasers in such a way that, fortunately, they are not instant kill. So, you're going to see as the run goes on, there are going to be some areas in the stage where he's going to have to take some force damage in order to get through, but thanks to the fact that the lasers, these force beams, are not instant kill, all he's just going to do is just take a little bit of damage. But however, because of how the run is going to end towards said end of the stage, he's still going to take only as much damage as he needs in order to get by the rest of the stage, because of course, if you remember Quickman stage in Mega Man 2 Vanilla, there's a Stretch of Sniper Joes and their mechs. So he's taking all the necessary damage boosts possible to get by everything, and we're about to go to Quickman proper. So Quickman, he's actually quite predictable compared to how he is in Vanilla. He's always going to jump 3 times. The second time he's going to throw quick boomerangs, and AsneL is going to react proper. Of course, since we only got our Buster in tow, he's just going to use the Buster and take him out. Fortunately, he does take double damage to the charge shot of the Buster, 4 damage total, and pretty good starting point for our run, where AsneL will get our trusty quick boomerang. Fortunately, thanks to a lot of quality of life additions, you can actually skip the weapon guest screens, so you can just keep on going and moving along as we go to Bomb Man stage. However, this is not your normal quick boomerang. One of the things that Rockman World Plus decides to do is the fact that some of these have extra little buffs or changes. As you can see on the screen, whenever you actually equip the quick boomerang, you will actually gain an extra burst of speed. So you actually move as quick as Quickman as long as you have the quick boomerang equipped. So if you don't have it equipped, you're just going to be walking at normal speed. AsneL taking a little bit of some type jumps. Some of the rudest jumps in the game, the 2 tall high walls. Unfortunately, taking a little bit of a spill there, but we can recover it quickly. Like I said, having the quick boomerang equipped gives Mega Man the extra little bit of speed, so we can get back to where we lost our lives pretty much in no time. Of course, many other features that are within the game. Of course, you see quick swapping, you got rush items, so it's pretty much just the whole 9 yards of what the game is pretty much is capable of right from the get-go. So for right now, as far as order that AsneL is about to go, it's not necessarily a weakness order. Fortunately, Bombman is weak to the quick boomerang, but it's mostly a coincidence. Because depending on how AsneL decides to do his run, it's going to be either by boss weakness order or just by convenience to try to get the most usable items as soon as possible. So it just so happens it's fortunate that he's going to go to Bombman and get a pretty surprisingly useful item after beating Bombman. Speaking of, Bombman is going to do what Bombman does. The bosses really don't change compared to their vanilla counterpart. They're pretty much the exact same, so Bombman's gonna jump a few times and just throw bombs. And with the quick boomerang Toad, you pretty much just deal with him in a rather short fashion. So, the hyper bombs that AsneL get, if you remember the vanilla Mega Man 1, you would know that the Hyper Bomb is one of the most unwieldy weapons in the entire franchise. You don't even have to wait for an inconsiderable amount of time before the bomb detonates, and it does not explode on impact. You'll see what happens with this new revamped Hyper Bomb as AsneL tries to navigate through Gutsman stage, which is our next stage. Of course, with those dastardly Guts lifts, they still are the bane of many gamers, even in Fangames such as this one. But AsneL, being the speedrunner as he is gonna go for all of the rough stuff. Because one of the things is, you can actually kind of force the Guts lifts to scroll a little earlier than predicted, as you see on screen. But all of these has a lot of risks because you're timing to land on the Guts lifts properly, and of course, since they're moving away, they're going to be moving off screen, so you need to jump off immediately in order to get onto the next safe platform. But fortunately, aside from making an early death, this has been a pretty solid stage. And as you've been seeing throughout the entire run, throughout the entire stage, the hyper bombs are godlike. No more waiting for explosions. You actually detonate as soon as the bomb hits an opponent, and it's gonna make extremely short work of Gutsman. So Gutsman is literally a joke. Down go Gutsman, hyper bombs, actually good for a change. As AsneL takes Gutsman down, and we got 3 of our robot masters dealt with. One thing you won't see, since we're skipping the item get screens, after you get Gutsman, we will get our Rush Jet, which is the Mega Man 3 variant. And if you know the Mega Man 3 variant of the Rush Jet, you know it's busted, it's good, you want to use it whenever it's necessary. But anyway, that was something interesting. We're actually going to a robot master that was introduced in the Mega Man DOS games. This one is Blade Man, who was first featured in Mega Man 3 DOS, not the one that we know in Mega Man 10. So, in this case, the creator decided to take a couple of robot masters from the DOS series and implement them into this little game here. Meanwhile, Mad Grinder caused a little bit of issue for AsneL. There we go. Good quick recovery. So yeah, just a few bombs from the bomb shots will take care of the Mad Grinders instantly. So they're pretty much a non-issue. Damage boost to move about a little quickly. Yeah, the music has been pretty dang good. Some of them are like little short arrangements, and some of them are just full-on custom tracks like the one you hear in Blade Man stage. Speaking of which, kinda got like the custom animation of Blade Man when he beats Mega Man. Chuckles for a job well done. Unfortunately, Mega Man still has lives, and he's gonna use the bombs once again to pretty much just attempt to do as much damage as possible on Blade Man here. Opting not to go for Super Arm, which also deals as much damage as the Hyper Bombs, still pretty much takes him out pretty quickly. Opting to use our super arm to get a little bit of a quick setup for our victory fanfare, make it a little quicker. As you didn't get to talk about the super arm in this game, it kind of works kind of like I want to say it was Mega Man powered up, similar to how Gutsman uses the super arm, in that you actually will, aside from the usual gimmick of getting a guts block you're throwing it, you actually create your own blocks and you're able to throw them, making them useful platforms as well. Anyway, onward to Bubble Man stage, and you already see part of the gimmick. There are some enemies that were hiding behind the waterfalls. Fortunately, AsneL does know where all the enemies are, so he can dodge them appropriately. But naturally, since this is a Bubble Man stage, naturally it's going to be an underwater stage. Naturally, it's going to have a butt ton of spikes along the way. But regardless of the matter, the spikes fortunately are not in hard places that AsneL should get killed quickly. So AsneL should be able to just navigate through this stage in a relatively short fashion. Meanwhile, we're not going to talk about the weapon that we got from Blade Man quite yet. We're going to see that in action a little bit later. But for the most part, we're just going to see AsneL as our Pink Bomber this time around. Once again, a reminder, whenever he equips the quick boomerang, he will maintain that high sense of speed whenever he has it equipped. Like I said, one of the added additions that a lot of these weapons seem to have. So Bubble Man, once again, a lot of these Rubber Masters kind of are weak to the same weapons. This time with the quick boomerang, once again, Bubble Man gets felled relatively quickly. If you excuse me for a minute. Apologies for a little background interruption, but I'm back now. But yes, I probably should have kept quiet because some of you people are probably realizing that this is a very notable track that is playing right now. If you know the track that's playing, I'm pretty sure y'all can produce the right emotes, the appropriate emotes. But anyway, we're going to Dynaman stage. Once again, another MS-DOS boss, this time from MS-DOS 1, where we're in a warehouse with a lot of explosive enemies here. One thing I didn't quite get to talk about is the fact that he's actually hoping to collect a particular set of items called P-Chips, which were introduced in the Game Boy game starting from Mega Man Game Boy 4. This game has a shop, and at some point in the run, we're hoping to get enough P-Chips so that AsneL can wind up getting a little useful item called the Spike Absorber. But once again, we'll deal with them if AsneL is able to get that item. Meanwhile, Dynaman, he's just a jumpy little boy trying to throw his dynamite bombs all over the place, but while he got explosives, Mega Man got a rock. And Mega Man's gonna throw that rock in his face, and as you can see, rock beats dynamite. Mega Man logic in a nutshell. So, moving onward, moving to Flashman stage. Flashman stage, honestly, it's a little more dangerous compared to the vanilla Mega Man 2. There's a lot more pitfalls, there's some spikes along the way, but all in all, it's not that dangerous of a stage. So, as much, I think this would be a good time to talk about the weakness that we got from Blade Man, because the weapon we do have from Blade Man is the weakness that we're going to be using for Flash, and that's called the Blade Launcher. And what the Blade Launcher does, it actually has two specific functions. Under normal circumstances, you throw two spinning blades that can stand still at any given time, and once you fire it again, those two blades retract. However, it does have a charge component, and the charge component kind of acts like the triple blade from Mega Man 10. However, once it's fired, it'll actually stick onto whatever surface that Mega Man fires on. And it does aim in multiple directions. And if AsneL plays his cards right, this Flashman fight that's coming up will be done in relative short order. So we're gonna get the blade launcher equipped, charge it up, and just spam the unholy goodness. He wasn't able to stick it onto him. Because if AsneL was able to stick it in such a way where by the time Flashman does this time stopper, he's just gonna just stay right in the blade launcher's hitbox and just continuously take damage. Pretty much making the fight a non-issue. As you expect, the time stopper does work in the same vein that you expect in Vanilla Mega Man 2, but you can stop it early because we do have quick swap. That's one very important thing that will come up in this stage, which is, surprisingly enough, actually much tamer than your Vanilla Mega Man 2 Heatman, in that, you know, this stage will have its vanishing blocks. You're only gonna see them probably a few times. Mainly here, and maybe some Yoku spikes along the way, but Yoku spikes will be dealt with the time stopper. Because I think he was forced to use. I did not get to see if he went to the yes, he did. He did go to the shop. So this is what I was talking about at first. He got the Spike Absorber, but the Shock Absorber is a little busted. In normal circumstances, all it usually does is just prevent you from dying for spikes. In this game, however, you're 100% invincible once you use the Spike Absorber. Funny how that works. So you can see, Mega Man is just standing in Heatman's hitbox all the live long day, and Heatman would just be like a small little bit of embers. As Mega Man makes short work of Heatman using a combination of bubble leads and the nuclear detonator, which I didn't get to talk about all that much. But I'll explain the nuclear detonator in a little bit. We're kind of going at a quick clip here. But AsneL's a speedrunner. I wouldn't be talking about this as fast if he wouldn't be going as fast. Anyway, to the Wily stages proper. So the Wily stages are pretty much designed, at least in this aspect, similar to the Wily station in Mega Man 1, the first Wily station. It looks like he was able to buy 2 Spike Absorbers. So in this case, Mega Man is basically God mode now. Oh yeah, we seen the cat jams. Y'all know the deal. We got a godlike theme for our godlike stage. But yeah, Shock Absorber, know the little added bonus, and you're pretty much just good to go for the rest of the stage. There's pretty much there's nothing else to say. You're pretty much immortal until deemed otherwise. Anyway, onto our first boss, the Kunagoro Maker. There are a number of weaknesses that you can use to destroy all the turtles down along the way, but AsneL opts to use the blade launcher for its versatility. But actually, that's not all. There's a little bonus that these Wily stages give. What's this? A victory animation? A weapon guest screen? Ladies, gentlemen, and all genders and identifications in between, we got turtle shields. has the Kamagoro Squad, which is basically a shield weapon where all the turtles pretty much act as a shield, and when released, pretty much just gaze on whatever target that is close by. Speaking of which, we're going to use it immediately against a very familiar yet very annoying opponent. The Yellow Devil, the Mega Man 1 variant, makes a return, and as you can see, our turtles are just going... This is going to go ham. They know their job, so all AsneL just needs to do is just worry about dodging the Yellow Devil pieces. Make sure not to take too much damage along the way, and if the turtles wind up being despawned, just have another set of turtles ready. So as AsneL gets the job done, I think we're going to talk about the nuclear detonator, since we didn't get to talk about it when he fought Dynaman for a little bit. So the nuclear detonator is kind of a little bit of an unwieldy weapon. Think drill bombs from Mega Man 4, but a little harder. You can detonate it at any given time, but its range kind of makes it tough to use. It pierces through a lot of armor, as you saw in the Heatman fight a little while earlier. Meanwhile, we did get a weapon from the Yellow Devil. You'll see that in action in a little bit. In the meanwhile, we're just gonna literally retread Wily Stage 3 from Mega Man 2. A lot of the Wily stages are basically retreads of older stages, so there's not really too much to discuss about them because you've seen them before. If you've seen these games at least once in your life, you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into. Except for the boss. Instead of a Guts tank, we got the Mega Man 5 boss Darkman. He's weak to devil antics. This is the non-Newtonian split. An awkward name for a very interesting weapon. Your body literally splits apart in devil pieces, gaining a little bit of invincibility along the way, but actually allows a little bit of a spread shot along a little bit of a radius. Again, a radius. A very unique attack actually, but unfortunately its only use is just to defeat Darkman. Also, remember when I was talking about powered up with the super arm? Hey, what's up, Time Man? How you doing? Time Man makes an appearance in our Mega Man 1 Wily Stage 2 retread, using the nuclear detonator as I mentioned before. Often use the turtles to take care of our Mega Man 3 Top Man enemy retreads. And of course, Oil Man, our censored variant with the mask over the face. His weakness is the nuclear detonator, or at least is very useful. But we already use a lot of nuclear detonator, so we're just gonna simply use buster shots, so it's pretty much a vanilla fight in this go-through. Fortunately, Oil Man's attacks are pretty straightforward, and as you can plainly see, AsneL's a pro at dodging them. At this point, we're pretty much, as I said, it's a retread, so we're literally just going through Wily Stage 2 until we get to our next boss. So going through our final sets of enemies here. And our next boss, Yo-Waker. So, as you expect, we also got a weapon from Darkman. This is the Dark Stasis, which pretty much just fires the Darkman shield. You're able to control the direction that it fires, and it does immense damage to Anchor. Of course, this being the inspiration for the game, we're gonna get the Mirror Buster. If you're familiar with Mega Man 1 Game Boy, you pretty much know how the Mirror Buster works, but for those that don't, it's basically kind of like a deflective shield, in which whatever projectiles is fired at it, it usually deflects a shot right back at it, unless it's too powerful enough. Well, it's too powerful, it just breaks the Mirror Buster outright. In the meanwhile, hey, we just got refights. You can have a Mega Man game and not have refights. It's tradition. Y'all love tradition, you got to respect it. So Bombman taken care of. Quick Man, while he is quick, he's dealing with the Time Stopper. The Time Stopper, of course, is slow, and it only deals half damage. Half a life bar of damage. Like in vanilla, so I'm just gonna stick with good old buster shots. Much faster, much more useful. And moving on. Rayman returns. Much more improved hyper bombs. You're gonna see that again because it's gonna be used for Gutsman in a little bit. Bomberman, quick boomerangs. Got a little water jet this time since he's out of water. He's not useless out of the water this time around. But who gives a crap? He still goes out of quick boomerang anyway. Heatman, get the bubbles. Not gonna use nuclear detonator this time. Nuclear detonator has a much bigger purpose later on. One more shot to go. And we then moves to our next Robot Master, which is Gutsman. Once again, we're gonna reuse the bombs one more time. We should have enough to quickly dispatch our big bruiser. And moving on to our next one in Dynaman. Plenty of super arm. We're just gonna throw our big old boulders. And Dynaman, oh wait, Dynaman trying to be sneaky. There we go. Flashman, our final Robot Master, once again, quickly dispatched by the blade launcher. Blaze was not able to get him stuck within the Blaze hitbox. So, now we're about to face Big Bad Wily in the same mechanism that he used in the Game Boy games. So, he actually has 2 life bars. It's not a full 2 life bars, but it's still 2 life bars out of the way. Nevertheless, it is also used a nuclear detonator, which does 3 units of damage regardless of what enemy use, and time will be done now. GG's AsneL. So yeah, that was Rockman World Plus. Passion project by Rockman and New Menace. Based on the Mega Mix engine. Pretty solid fan game. Recommend a try if you're able to have the ability to get it. AsneL opts to not speak. So I'll say on his behalf, I'm pretty sure he thanks everyone for watching the run, everyone for sticking around. Of course, thanks for Fangame Marathon for allowing this run to be played, and AsneL for allowing me to do commentary for this run. Did the best I could, so I hope it's to AsneL standard. I hope everyone else enjoyed the run and the commentary as well. So AsneL's behalf, this is LVCreed, and I will be handing it back to our host for the remainder of the marathon.
Well, thank you, LV, and thank you, AsneL, for the fantastic run. We will be going ahead and moving on to the next one, and up next is going to be the Super Monkey Ball Blind event, so you'll definitely want to stick around for that, especially if you like monkeys inside of balls. Whoop, that's not the right layout. Oopsie.